Does St. James contradicts Protestant doctrine of justification by faith alone? Papists will appeal to James 2:24, which says, quote, "We see that man is justified by works and not faith alone," end quote. Many papists will claim that James 2:24 isn't even compatible with Sola Fide. Or is it that true? As we'll see in another part of the video, there is nothing in contradiction with Protestant view of justification and James' view of justification. Moreover, Papist reading of James is just dishonest and sophisticated. How does not James contradict Protestant view of justification? Well, James claims that man is justified by works, but what does in this context mean justify? We Protestants distinguish between two types of justification. In first type of justification, by faith alone, we are declared righteous. In second type of justification, we are made righteous. And that same type of justification is by works, and not faith alone. In second type of justification, we are giving evidence for our faith, both for God and for man. That's why this doesn't contradict Sola Fide. How do we know that James teaches this? We know that James teaches this based on previous verses 14 to 18, which says, quote, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, but do not have works? Can faith save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you say to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill,' and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is it the good of that? Faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. But someone will say, 'You have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith apart from your works, and I by my works will show you my faith.'" End quote. From these verses, we can see two conclusions. One, faith which saves is not alone. And second, James doesn't describe legal justification in front of God. He describes justification of faith itself, which is by works. This is just a standard Protestant view, and this can be demonstrated with Protestant theologians. Richard Hooker says, quote, "Of justification, St. Paul proves by the example of Abraham that we have it by faith without works." Romans 4:1-25. Of sanctification, St. James teaches by example of Abraham that we have it by works and not only by faith. James 2:14-26. End quote. Richard Hooker also says, quote, "Therefore we acknowledge the necessary duty of doing good works, but we eternally renounce any notion of meritoriousness for the good actions." End quote. As we can see, there is nothing in contradiction with Protestant view of justification and St. James' view of justification. In fact, James' view of justification is consistent with Protestant framework of Sola Fide. Don't fall for papists' lies about our views of justification. That's it for today's video. I hope you may learn something new, and God bless.